It's the Daily Doug.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Doug. Thanks for being with me today. My friends, today is a Friday. It is a Masterpiece Friday, but it is also Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody. We made it to the end of October. I have what I think is a fun and topical episode for the day. I am happy that you are along for the ride. Over the years, we've celebrated Halloween with some special episodes that have been really fun. We heard John Carpenter's theme to the horror movie Halloween. We heard Halloween by Halloween. We heard Halloween by King Diamond. We've heard Welcome to My Nightmare from Alice Cooper. We heard All Nightmare Long from Metallica. We heard Night Terror from Dream Theater. We even heard Werewolves of London from Warren Zevon, y'all. It's a holiday that allows us to get a little bit silly and just kind of get outside of our normal everyday activities and let our hair down a little bit and have a little fun, maybe get a little scared, just enjoy some revelry, you know? So I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do this year, and I think I have something fun for us. I am celebrating Halloween this year by taking y'all through two great songs about Halloween from film and television. And I want to start with the song This Is Halloween from Danny Elfman from the movie Nightmare Before Christmas. So this movie, it's a stop motion animation film, and it was released on October 29th of 1993. I was in high school and I missed it, y'all. So although the movie has Christmas in its name, Nightmare Before Christmas, it's Halloween Town where our story begins. Our main character, Jack Skellington, the Pumpkin King, is tired of the same old routine as they celebrate Halloween every year, and he ends up going through this magical door that leads to Christmas Town. And his worldview starts to change and open up new ideas and new possible adventures for Jack. No spoilers, y'all, okay, in case you haven't seen it. It wasn't until just a few years ago, actually, that Meg and I first watched this movie, and that was on recommendation from some of the folks in our Daily Doug community, and I really did enjoy it. And I remembered that this catchy tune, This Is Halloween, happens right at the beginning of the film, and I haven't really heard it since. So I want to go back and take a look at it, listen to it, and see what makes it tick. And I also want to hear the music that Danny Elfman composed, because Danny Elfman is our composer. He also provides the singing voice of our main character, Jack Skellington. So a little bit about Danny. He first came on the scene as the lead vocalist and songwriter for the new wave band Oingo Boingo, but he transitioned into spending the bulk of his time writing for film and television in the 80s, and since then he's composed over 100 film and television scores, including a whole bunch of good ones. And I pulled a few here. Edward Scissorhands, the music for Batman Returns, Mars Attacks, Sleepy Hollow, Alice in Wonderland, two of the Spider-Man movies, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, all of the Men in Black films. Danny scored all of the 50 Shades of Grey films, and one of my favorite understated scores, and a wonderful movie to boot, y'all. His music for Good Will Hunting is just extraordinary, exquisite. But it's his quirkiness and his wit that I remember in This Is Halloween. So let's go to this one, and I've actually got the scene from the movie pulled up, so we're going to get to see what the animation looks like as well. And let's follow along with Danny Elfman and Jack Skellington and the folks of, what town is it? Halloween Town, as they are singing This Is Halloween. Here we go. Change already.
Boys and girls of every age, would you like to see something strange? Come with us and you will see. This our town of Halloween. This is Halloween.
Bum bum ba-da-dum.
Pumpkins scream in the dead of night. This is Halloween. Everybody
New key.
trick or treat. Tell the neighbors gonna die of fright. It's our town. Everybody's free. In this town of Halloween.
I am the one hiding under your bed, teeth ground sharp and eyes glowing red.
I am the one hiding under your stairs, fingers like snakes and
Great
spiders
color.
in my hair.
This is Halloween.
Bum bum ba-da-dum.
Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. In this town
Yeah.
we call home. Everyone
He's doing, I think, chromatic third moves. He's moving the key around.
Now everybody's waiting for the next surprise.
Down that corner line, hiding in the trash can. Something's waiting on a punch and pound.
Hooray, this is Halloween.
Red and black.
Ba-da-dum.
Aren't you scared?
Well, that's just fine. Say it once, say it
Be-da-dum,
twice, take a
bum,
chance
bum,
and roll the
be-da-dum.
dice. Ride with the moon in the dead of night.
Everybody scream! Everybody scream!
It's so witty.
Tearaway face.
Here in a flash and gone than trace.
I am the who and you call who's there. I am the wind blowing through your hair.
I am the shadow of
Down
the
by
moon
half step.
at night, filling your dreams to the brim with fright.
This is Halloween.
Yeah,
This is Halloween. Halloween, 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 Halloween.
Hang on. Do you hear how he's doing that? This is Halloween. I can't even remember exactly where they are, y'all, but it like, and it can be anywhere. He's just going everywhere with that little minor key, and it's just going one way and another and another and another, and it just kind of leads us from one of these creatures to another, and it keeps us just flowing and flowing, and he's keeping that same little motive just running, and the color of all of the different characters, their voices, and then getting to see the animation. It's just a great way to get you going and introduce it to a story, isn't it? I'm going to back this up a little bit and then see if we can catch some more of this. Here we go.
Shadow on the moon at night, filling your dreams to the brim with fright.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween. Halloween, 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 Halloween.
Tender rumblings everywhere. Life's no fun without a good scare.
That's our job
But we're not mean
in our town of Halloween.
In this town, don't we love it now? Everyone's waiting for the next surprise.
Skeleton Jack, I catch you
It's
in
like
the
every phrase. Every phrase. It's a new key. That one's stuck.
Halloween,
Halloween, Halloween, Halloween, Halloween.
In this town we call home. Everyone hail to the pumpkin song.
There he is.
Jack Skellington, your Pumpkin King.
So that's the big introduction to the town and all of the people, and we revel in who they are and what they're about to do. But Jack's getting tired of the same old, same old. You can watch the film on your own time, y'all. But it's really witty. It's very entertaining, and the music is worth your time throughout. There's great stuff in it, really great stuff. And it was fun to go back and hear that. I didn't even clock when I watched it how much the keys were just moving and darting from one place to another. It's not that he's giving us a progression from the 1 chord to the 4 chord to the 6 chord to the 7 to the 5, any of that stuff. That's not really what he's doing. He might have a couple of chords that fit, but he's taking these ideas and going here, here, just moving them like Lego pieces. And it ends up simulating the patchwork of interesting characters that populate the town. Really cool way to do that compositionally, isn't it? Wonderful. Well, that was quite fun to do, y'all, but I think I have one that's just as fun and maybe even sentimental for us to take a look at. Another Halloween classic. It's the Great Pumpkin Waltz by Vince Guaraldi. This is going to be fun. So earlier in October, I was struggling with my health. I had debilitating back spasms that kept me out of the office for a few days. I had a nasty bout with norovirus that then kept me out for more days. And I was resting here at home and not really able to do a whole lot. So I was doing a bunch of searching to find some entertainment, something for me to watch, to pass the time. And I found myself watching It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. And it just brought me back to my childhood. It was so much fun to come back to this. The Great Pumpkin that Linus is hoping to see in this special was first introduced in the Peanuts comic strip on Halloween week 1959. And the famous animated television special first aired on October 27th of 1966. And in this special, we get to see, of course, Linus and the pumpkin patch, but we get some great stuff in there too. Snoopy is a flying ace, as I recall. Lucy is tricking Charlie Brown by pulling away the football as he attempts to kick it. All of the great stuff that we have come to love from the Peanuts gang, right? And as I was watching, it was the music, especially of the Great Pumpkin Waltz from Vince Guaraldi, that just caught my attention. And it's got a subtle harmonic movement and a really quite simple melody, and it just piqued my curiosity. So I was spending some time at the keyboard kind of playing along with it and trying to figure out what Vince was up to. I consulted a lead sheet too to get a little bit of help for some of the jazz voicings, but I've got a few ideas that I want to share with you as to why I think this theme works so darn well. And it's meant originally for kids. So the melodies are relatively simplistic, but the jazz harmonies, it doesn't matter if you're 4 years old or 400, y'all. Those sumptuous harmonies, they get you. And whether you're young or old, they're great. You don't have to be an adult to understand some cool jazzy sounds when you hear them, So let's dive in to the Great Pumpkin Waltz by Vince Guaraldi and see what's happening. Actually, I may play it all the way through just to get a better sense of it, and then I might play it a second time and we'll chat about it. Okay? So, first time I'm going to enjoy it a little bit, and then we'll dive in and see what secrets it is doing here harmonically. The Great Pumpkin Waltz from Vince Guaraldi. Here we go. First phrase goes back. We can focus on form this time, maybe. We hear the same thing repeats, a different transition, and we get a contrasting theme. the A theme. Beautiful low flute. Now we've heard the whole song, and they're just going into reiterations of it. It's not often that we get to hear a really warm, low flute, low in its range like that, because it normally gets overshadowed by these other instruments. A clean guitar, doing that sentimental minor chord now in a major key. Then we transition back to the A phrase. Yeah, a regular flute had to pop that up instead of down because it doesn't have that low note, and it's on the flute. That's how low this melody sits on that instrument. And he's ending on the ninth, or re, and there's do of the chord, bum. So it's an E flat chord. But he's on the ninth of that. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? Let's talk about it, y'all. Let's talk about it. So I need to get this back so that I can play it again. Okay, so let's talk about it. It has a classic form to it. It has an A theme, it has a B theme. That's all you need. And they're just a phrase each. And it uses a classic song form, A-A-B-A. I think this uses more measures, but the ratios would line up. It's that 32 bar song form that was made really popular by Tin Pan Alley composers. A lot of great popular songs from the 20th century use that particular form, where you have an opening theme, you repeat it. You go to an alternating theme, and then you come back to A and you repeat, and you do it again. A, A, B, A. 8 bars, 8 bars, 8 bars, 8 bars. And then you can repeat that and do changes over it, whatever you need. Over the Rainbow does that. Blue Sky Shining at Me, that one does it. Yesterday from the Beatles does it. I'm trying to think of other, like a lot of Gershwin tunes, Cole Porter tunes does it. I'm looking over here at my notes. I Got Rhythm does it. To Make You Feel My Love from Bob Dylan does that. A bunch of songs use that form, so it's a form that's often used. And he starts off, we've got a pretty basic melody, y'all. Bum, 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 yadam beata ba-da-dee-dum, yadee-da-dee, you know, and as it comes back. So with that relatively repeated note, he's going down by half steps. So let's go into a little bit of the voicing. C minor 7. You get this 7th from the C to the B flat with the G of that chord up here in the melody goes down. That 7th from C to B flat goes down by a half step. B to A, and you still get the G in there. Now you get a D, and now you get a G. That is a G chord, GBD. Sorry, yeah, GBD, with the B in the bass, and you get this little added A in there just for color. Maybe the 9th, but it acts like a little passing dominant to move away from that tonic chord. Yum, tum. Then, yeah, that 7th that was here goes down. Now it's B flat minor 7. That G holds. Yum. Now it's the actual B minor chord. And it does a little da da dee. Then, hang on, where did I go? Sorry. Don't lose it, Doug. Yeah. Then E flat dominant 7. That's where it goes. Right? And you think it should go there, and it almost does, but it goes just cool stuff. The bass is basically moving down by half steps throughout the bulk of the A theme. It starts on the C, goes down to the B, B flat. It does skip down like a 2-5 to give us that E flat dominant, but then it goes right back to where it was continuing on, an A natural, from that low E flat to an A natural, right? To F minor over A flat, to E flat over G, then F sharp fully diminished, and then F minor 7, and then E flat major 9. That's how that A section goes. And it's just a simple little thing that we can sing along to. The reason why the flute did that is because it doesn't have that note on it. That's what I was talking about earlier. When we get to the B section, he gives us, instead of the 2, 5, and 1 and back into that, he gives us a different 2, 5. Aha! And he moves us from C minor into its dominant G in a major key. And it kind of acts like a dominant prolongation the whole time, because it's that G that we come back to, and then back to the main idea. Right? But it's in G. We get I think a G down here. B, D, G, B natural over a C minor chord. A C minor chord with a major 7th. That's an appoggiatura. It's a serious dissonance, y'all. It jumps to high, and it lands back down on that A, and it ends up being, you can call it C minor add 6 or A half diminished in first inversion. However you want to call it, it's a melancholy subdominant chord that then moves us back into that major chord. He does it again on a higher melody for the second time, and then by the time we get around to the end of the theme, we transition back. I'm going to play it again, y'all. Let's enjoy the Great Pumpkin Waltz one more time. Here we go. So listen to the bass. And the one time it's a whole step instead of a half step is where it resolves to that E flat at the end of the phrase. Then A, D, and we're into G major. The 2-5 will get you to a new key if you just use it. I want a hula hoop. No, that's the wrong cartoon. There's the G7, back, right down the scale. Then the one whole step. So simple, yet so effective. And it allows, like I said earlier, for then this relatively short song to be repeated as long as they need to. You can hit the melody, or you can go off and do soloing over the same changes. Just adore the sound of that low flute. It's one of my favorite colors, or instrumental colors. Because they have to put out quite a bit of breath to get those lower notes out, and it's got that breathy, sort of wispy quality to it, but it's also warm. It out. I hope Linus finds his Great Pumpkin this year, y'all. I'm not a big fan of pumpkin. I don't really like pumpkin pie. I'm not into the pumpkin pie spice at Starbucks. Megan is, but not me. I'll go for my apple cider and my apple pie, y'all. That's where I'll go. And you know, at Halloween, it's just a time for us to enjoy ourselves, let down our hair a little bit, like I was saying earlier. I think I have figured out what I am going to dress as tonight when the kids come around. I know it's like last minute, but I've got the elements of my costume here, y'all. I, this year, am going to dress as Matt Foley, the fictional character portrayed famously by Chris Farley on Saturday Night Live. You remember the guy that lives down in a van down by the river, you know? And so I'm going to tell those kids to quit smoking doobies if you don't want to end up in a van down by the river. See, so I've got the khaki pants. I've got the white dress shirt. I've got the bad tie. I even have a brown kind of sport jacket that can work. And I've got the girth, so I can do that. I think I can pull it off, y'all. I wonder if any kids in 2025 will have any idea what I'm doing. Who's Matt Foley? I'm like, go watch your historic television, kids. That's your job for this Halloween, y'all. I just was in a mood on this Friday to have a little fun, and this music just gets me in the mood, not only for this time of year, but just to go back to some great storytelling and to remember what it's like to be a kid, to have some just an imagination that runs wild, you know, and to live in that for a little bit. So that's what I wanted to do today, and I think it's been fun. This is Halloween from Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas and The Great Pumpkin Waltz by Vince Guaraldi from the Peanuts gang. A great Halloween. I wish y'all all a great holiday, a great Halloween. And that's going to be all for me today and this week, my friends. I thank you very much for being with me. We'll see you next time and next month on another edition of The Daily Doug.
It's the Daily Doug. Welcome to the Daily Doug. The Daily